It might help if I actually click in to be in the stream instead of starting with a blank screen for a couple of seconds. Okay. You can't see it here, folks, but Eric is giving me a face palm and a look like, you stupid nerd. Anyway, looking a lot like the people that were staring at him rather unfavorably last night when we had dinner at the library. But he's just getting me tonight because it's been a long day, hasn't it, fellas? Oh, we kind of expected Saturday to be pretty busy, and it was, and it wasn't. It was a little unusual today. I was in terms of traffic, we did have increased traffic, but we didn't necessarily have a lot of increased sales, which is a little bit odd. And I talked with some of the other writers who were in there, and they all basically reported the same thing, that there just wasn't as much in terms of sales, even though there were more people walking through and all of that. Because you would agree, Eric, we certainly had more people walking through. That's definitely for sure. He's nodding his head, by the way. So there was that, but not necessarily more sales. By the way, this is But I Digress, episode 43. Forgot to mention that at the beginning because it's been a long day. Interestingly, when we made our walk over there, I stopped at the gas station, a Speedway gas station that was across the street from our hotel, because I needed to break a 20, get some change. And as you can see, I was wearing the casual cosplay, complete with Velcro cape and all, casual cosplay Superman t-shirt. And for some odd reason, it was giving me a fair amount of attention. I had a couple of people ask me, "Are you really Superman? Are you the real Superman?" And I would just say yes, just to throw them off. It's always from the normies, too, not necessarily the con-goers. It's always the normies. Looking over at Eric like he's got to talk to me. He's busy playing his DC game. Speaking of Superman, what's that game called, Eric?
DC Legends.
DC Legends. I've never played it, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm amazed your old iPhone can run that. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
I will if I want to.
Oh, man. So I was once again in the hall the entire day. Jared, actually, he's got his head buried in his headphones right now, but he ran off and went to some film events, mostly having to do with promotion, which was interesting. I'm guessing he was hoping to glean some things to help promote his artwork, which you should go check out his artwork, I might add. I'll see if I can even find, if you're watching this later on, let me see if I can find his DeviantArt page. There it is. I'll share that in the chat for all of you to see in the future, because we started this stream late because again, it's Gen Con. It's just been one of those days. But we saw some interesting cosplayers today. There was more cosplay, which was nice to see. And I don't have my phone with me. It's charging back there. But otherwise, I would be sharing that. Do you remember any of the cool cosplays we saw today, Eric?
We saw Monty Python cosplayers.
Oh, yeah, we saw. Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest ones. We saw a couple of guys who were cosplaying King Arthur and Patsy from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, complete with clapping coconuts. That one was pretty cool. And Mary did her Silk cosplay again, was upset that she never saw any other Spider-Men or people.
That was odd.
It was really odd. We saw some other superheroes, but we never saw any spider people, which was I saw several Captain Americas. I saw a couple of Scarlet Witches. You got a picture with one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw post-apocalyptic Mickey and Donald. We saw Darkwing Duck Lady at the beginning. And what was another? I'm trying to think. There was another. We saw. Was it post-apocalyptic? You talked to him. I did get to, but it was Nightcrawler and Magneto.
Kind of a heavy metal version.
It was like a heavy metal version, yeah, of Nightcrawler Magneto, which is actually pretty cool. Although from a distance at first I thought Magneto was the Juggernaut, which turned out not to be the case. Yeah. And once again, the kaiju books were strangely popular, even though I was anticipating it would be my other titles. Yeah, here you go. That's the Nightcrawler and Magneto right there. I should have downloaded them so I could share them on the stream, but we're doing this quick and dirty here. And there goes Jared into the bathroom. Yeah. So we did get to see some cool cosplayers. You hung out at because you wore your Blue Lantern costume, and actually a couple of people got you right. A lot of people didn't know who you were. One guy actually found out said Saint Walker, which wasn't necessarily what you were going for.
He's my favorite Blue Lantern.
But he's your favorite Blue Lantern. You're just a Blue Lantern. Yeah. But he got Saint Walker, which is a pretty obscure character. So I was impressed that he knew who you were. And I, like I said, I wore this, and trying to think what were some other highlights. You went to a Dominion event at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So you were gone during that time, and then you spent the rest of the day in the hall with me.
Yeah.
And we worked the table. Like I said, the kaiju stuff was strangely popular. The Zorzum books have been selling, just not quite as much as I was expecting, because the people who saw this is probably the big difference. The people who saw the kaiju stuff got really excited and really, really wanted it. So I think because of that, it has felt like that stuff has been more popular when it may have not necessarily been more popular. I've just not been used to that, because for me, kaiju is a niche within a niche. And the fact that people are seeing this and getting excited at Gen Con of all places, when I've tried to sell some of this stuff before and it hasn't been quite as popular, I've been a little bit astonished. So that was actually kind of encouraging to see. And we'll see how the rest of the day goes tomorrow. I don't know. I may sell out of all the kaiju stuff. I don't know. Maybe we'll sell out of everything. Normally, because that's the thing. I was talking with the other writers. We all expected today to be just insane in terms of sales. And for a lot of everybody, it was either slow for them, or at least slower compared to the other 2 days, or it was just, really just dead for them. It's just really astonishing, or maybe about average. It depended on who I talked to. It was just really strange. This whole Gen Con, Eric, has just been really weird for everybody. And I'm not 100% sure what to think of it. But tomorrow, I think, is going to be the telltale, because it'll be a different crowd tomorrow. There's some people who, traditionally speaking, only come on Sunday. Sunday is a really inexpensive day. And that's usually, are they still calling it Family Day? Do you know?
Sunday? Probably, I don't know.
I don't know. That's usually a popular day to bring families if they're not there all 4 days. So that will be interesting. As for what we did outside of the hall, unless I can remember any interesting stories from otherwise from there. Oh no, I got to tell this story. We met Jay, who was one of my regulars. It was the guy I talked about actually in a previous live stream. He came back today and talked to us a bit more, reminded me of the things he had said before about how you never know what your writing is going to do for people, how it's going to affect people, which was really great to hear him again. He, strangely enough, he had book 1, but he didn't have book 2 of 42. So did he buy book 2, or did he just buy?
He's going to come back tomorrow.
He's going to come back tomorrow. Yeah, he's going to get more. So I'm thinking we got guaranteed devotion sales from him. And if we don't see him before you leave tomorrow, Eric, you need to make sure you leave me some so I can sell them.
You are, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have to keep them. That's right. So my brain right now. So he came back. That was great. I got to see some more. I'm glad to see more people that I know from the con are still coming. I saw some other recognizable faces, which was great. And then, like I said, unless I can remember anything else from being in the hall, after we were done, the 3 of us came back to the apartment. We had Eric and I. Did you have any leftovers from last night, or was it just me? Yeah, we had leftovers from dinner last night for tonight, and then I moseyed on over to the playtest hall to try out Drabal and Shuffle, made by Cameron Miller, which you should if he, starts getting some notoriety for this. He tried to Kickstarter before it didn't work. Jared did the artwork for the cards. It's a wonderful little card game. It's pretty quick. It's easy. It's basically a quick and dirty RPG where you use cards to do all of your attacks and things like that. It's a wonderful, funny little game. If you like Munchkin, you would love this game. Has that same sort of sense of humor. When I was playing today, I ended up being I was a Viking warrior sun elf, which meant I was basically a crazy berserker who absorbed energy from the sun and did all kinds of things because I'm an elf. That's what I do. And we had a guy who was going to play with us, total stranger, never met him before. I think his name was Jamisi, something like that. And he ended up quitting right before we were going to start. I was disappointed because it would have been very entertaining. And so it ended up just being me and Lynette playing now. Eric and Jared eventually came, but they didn't make characters and play. And eventually Darren came, but he didn't. That was right at the end of the game. Our friend Darren Ball, who contributed to Fantastic 42. So we did that. It was pretty fun. Lynette was playing a Vulcan, which is a cat person. And the funny thing was, I went around and I was basically speaking in a Arnold Schwarzenegger accent and talking about my muscles all the time. And I, weirdly enough, spent a lot of time intimidating snakes and lizards, because I had a high intimidation points. So I was intimidating a lot of them, or smashing things. That's basically what I did: intimidation and smashing. So there you go on that. That was fun. And I really, really do hope that Cameron is able to get this game marketed, because it would do very well at Gen Con, and it has the right kind of sense of humor for this sort of crowd. It's a unique little game. And I love, plus I want to support Jared because he did the artwork, and Cameron was one of my schoolmates back at Taylor, so I think it would be great to support him in that way. I do have a copy of the game, but Cameron has since made a newer version. Now, one of the big highlights for me today was Darren Ball is apparently the only person at Gen Con with this game, because he kickstarted it, and I am so incredibly jealous. I used to be incredibly jealous of his Heroescape collection. I am more jealous of the fact that he has this game that he kickstarted at a very high level, and he basically has everything that you would get with this game. And that is it just Street Fighter, the board game, or something? Street Fighter, the miniatures game. And I had heard a lot of good stuff about it. He was playtesting it for many, many hours all day today. And, well, maybe not today, but
not playtesting it, playing it.
Playing it. So I was playing it, sorry. And it was very popular. And I said, I am a huge fan of Street Fighter. I have been since I was like 10, 12 years old. So I refuse to leave Gen Con without playing this thing. So we went over to Darren's hotel. I thought he was going to bring it here. Little did I realize that there is a lot to this game. It's like 3 boxes, basically, that has to hold all different things, because you need a board, you have miniatures. And when I say miniatures, I don't mean like little things like this. No, we're talking like 3-inch miniatures, hyper detailed, big bases, like about this big around. It's ridiculous. And so he had like 20 plus of them, basically. No, not even. It was more like 30 probably. It was nuts. And so we have 1 box just for those, 1 box just for the card decks that do their attacks, and then 1 box for the terrain and the boards. It's basically an absolutely insane love child of Unmatched and probably Heroescape. It's nuts with Street Fighter. And so when you have stuff like that, I'm going to lose my mind over it. So Eric and I played 2 rounds of it, 1v1. Well, Darren was supervising and helping us out with the game. Eric had played before, so he had a bit of an advantage on me. However, weirdly enough, both of our games came down to the wire. Eric beat me the first time. It was a Guile and a Buki, and then you beat me, Eric. And then we did a second round because I was just having too much fun. One of the reasons why this live stream is late. And then the next time I decided I got to play my girl from Street Fighter 2, and that being Chun-Li. and then you picked Eel Boy, Green Eel Boy, Green Eel Hulk, Electro Hulk, whatever you call him, Blanca, and it came down to the wire again. But you were pulverizing me hard there early on. I thought I was going to lose and lose badly, but then I managed to do a big attack on him and made a huge comeback. And then it came down to the wire again, and I barely won. Although, if you had survived that first attack, I would have gotten you on the next one. So I had such a blast, and I want that game to get published. I'm like everybody else who played it.
Published. It's Kickstarted, so that means it's published.
Well, yeah, I just want it to be mass marketed. That's what I'm looking at, because which was the same thing. Everyone who played it with Darren, not today, I think it was yesterday, was saying the same thing. They were scrambling to find where you could find this game and buy it, and it's just to the Kickstarters right now. So I'm really hoping that this gets published in the mass market, because I will snatch this up like nobody's business. It is such a good game, and I have a lot of friends who would just adore this thing. It is so much fun. I can't say that enough. That's basically it. That was our day here today at Gen Con. I hope you enjoy watching this live stream in the future. Thank you for joining me. We'll have the final roundup tomorrow. May end up just being me. I don't know how Eric's going to feel at 10 o'clock tomorrow. He might be too exhausted to call me over the internet about this. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks a lot. See you later.